Good day, grade 10 learners. Welcome to our mathematics lesson. I am Skulile Ngube, and this lesson is proudly brought to you by the Gauteng Department of Education. Grade 10s will continue with our topic, simplifying algebraic fractions, but in this lesson, we're going to concentrate on addition and subtraction of algebraic fractions. Remember, in our previous lesson, we managed to do multiplication and division of algebraic fractions, isn't it? Right, we'll continue, but we're going to do addition and subtraction. Let's be ready for our lesson, grade 10s, and let's make sure our workbooks are there. Our pens, pencils, calculators, everything that we need. And let me just give you a clue, grade 10s, you have to do your work. If you sit and do nothing, you are not going to understand anything. Okay? As I give you examples, write down the work that I'm giving you. If I'm giving activities, do the activities, and then we'll do corrections. After each and every activity, we'll do corrections. And then when you're doing corrections, to avoid wasting time, don't rewrite everything. Just correct it with your pencil, correct the wrong things that you did. We learn from our mistakes. Remember that. Don't be afraid of trying to solve any problem that I'm going to give you. Try and learn from those mistakes. Okay? Right. Let's try to do that. So our WhatsApp line is 063-629-3655. Okay, I'll try to be slow today. Remember last week, some people are saying I'm moving a bit fast, so I'll try to be slow. Let's move together. Give us input so that our lessons are productive. Okay? Right. 063-629-3655. That's the WhatsApp line. At the end of the lesson, grade 10s, you should be able to simplify algebraic fractions using factorization with focus on addition and subtraction of fractions. That's what we are focusing on today. Before I give you the baseline activity, remember we start by the baseline activity, by doing the baseline activity. I want us to discuss two concepts that we rushed through in our previous lesson. Remember, we talked about the difference of two squares and then difference in sum of two cubes. I want us to revisit those because I think last week we just rushed through, and then maybe someone may still not understanding those two. I want us to discuss the two concepts. Right, grade 8 and 9, we've done that. Let's discuss difference of two squares. So difference of two squares, like the name says, we're talking about what? Two squares, and then the difference between them. What is difference? Difference is when we subtract. So we are subtracting two squares. So when you're subtracting two squares like this, we get the difference of two squares. And then how do you factorize them? We have our two brackets like that. Okay? And then you find the square root of x squared here, and then you find the square root of y squared. What's the square root of x squared? It is x, isn't it? And then what is the square root of y? Y squared. It is y, isn't it? And then those square roots are the ones that we use in our brackets here. Remember, one bracket is a minus, the other bracket is a plus. And then in the square root, just in the brackets, just put our square root, which is x minus y, x plus y. Let me give you an example. Let's say we are asked to factorize 9x squared minus 1. What do we do? It's very easy, grade 10s. Very, very easy. You are going to have how many brackets? Two brackets. Okay? And then, which signs are you going to have in these brackets? Two signs. The other one is minus or operation. Let's call them operations because here we're separating and adding. So it's minus and plus. You see that? And then look for the square root of 9x squared. Right. What is the square root of 9x squared? What is the square root of 9x squared? The positive square root is 3x. Okay? Because square root of 9 is 3, the square root of x squared is x. So it's 3x. Remember, 1 also is a square number. 1 is a square number. 1 times 1 is 1. So what is the square root of 1? The positive square root of 1 is 1. You see that? So in the bracket, we're going to have 3x and 1. So you put your 3x here. You put your 1 there. 3x minus 1. Then you put your 3x here. You put your 1 there. 3x plus 1. You have factorized using the difference of two squares. Okay? All right. Let me give you 30 seconds to just write short notes. I'll be giving you time to write notes. Okay? Or make corrections. Now, 30 seconds, I'm not going to go anywhere. I'll wait for you. 30 seconds. Well done, Cretans. Remember, we are doing our work. Today, everyone, no one should be sitting, watching others doing their work or watching the video only without doing their work. No, no, no. You're not going to learn like that. Everyone is working, isn't it? If I want you to discuss, I will tell you to discuss with your friend, with your colleague. Right, let's discuss these two. Again, we rushed through these two in the previous lesson. Let's talk about the sum of two cubes. Okay? I'll give you the steps, but don't write the steps. I'll just give you one thing. I'll tell you what you must copy in. Okay? Now I want you to listen. Then at the end, I'll give you 2 minutes to just make your short notes. Right. How do we factorize the sum of two cubes? What did I say last week? First point, first bracket. We have this first bracket. Cube root each term. Cube root each term and keep the sign. Cube root each term and keep the sign. What is the cube root of x cubed? That is x. What is the cube root of y cubed? That is y. Which sign are we keeping? This one. So it means the first bracket is going to be the cube root of x cubed, which is x, then the cube root of y cubed, which is y, and then with a plus because we are maintaining the sign. So the first bracket is x plus y. And then we're going to the second bracket now. Second bracket. I said, listen, I'll tell you to write notes. Right, second bracket, square the first term. Now look at your first bracket now. Look at the first bracket, this one. Square the first term. What is the first term? Is x. You square it. You see, it is x squared. Then after squaring the first term, change the sign. It was plus in the first bracket, now it's minus. You see, it's minus now. And then multiply the terms together. Multiply these terms, x and y. You say x times y. What do you get? xy. You see that? Square the first term, change the sign, multiply the terms. The terms in the first bracket. Okay? And then we're almost doing the last step. Square the last term, it means you're squaring y, you're getting y squared. And the last operation is always plus. Always plus. Okay? The last operation is always plus. You see that? This is how we factorize the sum of two cubes. And then it summarizes to this. I want you to just copy this. So here, the cube root of x cubed, same sign is plus, cube root of y cubed there, that is the first bracket. Then second bracket, square x, change sign. If it is plus, becomes minus. If it is minus, becomes plus. And then multiply the two terms in the first bracket. And then always positive, always positive. And then you square the last term. In this case, we're squaring y. And then this is how you factorize the sum of two cubes. I want you to copy this in 2 minutes. Just copy that in 2 minutes. If 2 minutes is not enough, please let us know. 063 629 3655. 2 minutes. Let's copy. Right, welcome back, cretins. Please, if you need more time, let us know. Please don't keep quiet there and suffer on your own, okay? Let us know. Just say we need more time, okay? Right. Now, let's go to the difference of two cubes. Difference of two cubes is similar to the sum of two cubes, isn't it? It's similar. But now we are talking about the difference. Remember, cretins, for the squares, we only have difference of two squares. We don't have sum of two squares. Eh? We don't have sum of two squares. We only have difference of two squares. But when it comes to the cubes, we have the two of them. We have the sum of two cubes and difference of two cubes. Okay? Right. Now, the first bracket, cube root each term, you see that? So the cube root of x cubed is x, the cube root of y cubed is y. That's why we have x and y there. Keep the sign. It is minus here, it is minus there. That's the first bracket. You're done with the first bracket. Let's go to the second bracket. Same thing. Second bracket, square the first term. Now we are referring to the terms in the first bracket. We square the first term, which is x squared. What do we do next? After squaring the first term, change the sign. It's minus here, or change the operation. It's minus here, it's now plus there. Do you see that? Change the operation. Change the operation. And then multiply the terms. X times y is xy. Right, multiply the terms, x times y is xy. We have that. And then square the last term. We're squaring y. Square the last term. What we have? We have y squared. And then the last operation is always plus. Or the last sign there is always positive. Okay? So it's always plus. And then we have that. It summarizes to this. So cube root of x cubed, same sign, minus there. And then cube root of y cubed, which is y. That's the first bracket. Square x, change sign, change operation, multiply the terms in the first bracket, x times y. And then always positive. And then square the y. Okay, done. Now I'm going to give you 2 minutes again to just do this part. Okay, just do this in 2 minutes. I think after 2 minutes, I'll just give you another example. I'll do it fast to show you that this thing does not take time. Okay, I'll do it fast after this, and then we move on with our lesson. 2 minutes. Let's copy the notes. Right, welcome back. I want us to do just one example before we move on. So let me create space here. Okay, right, now we have space. Let's say we have 8x cubed minus 1. We want to factorize this. So what do? We have to find the cube root of 8x cubed. Cube root of 8x cubed. What is it? This is 2x. Remember, 8 is 2 cubed, isn't it? So the cube root of 8x cubed is 2x. What is the cube root of 1? Cube root of 1 is equal to 1. You see that? So let's have our first bracket. The first bracket, we're going to put the cube root of 8x cubed, which is 2x. We maintain the sign, we keep the sign, which is minus, and then put the cube root of 1, which is 1. Done with the first bracket. You see that? And then second bracket, we square 2x. So it becomes 2x squared. What is 2x squared? 2 squared is 4, x squared is x squared. So it's going to be 4x squared. So this is 4x squared. What's the next step? Change the sign. So it's now plus because it's minus here. So it's plus. And then multiply the terms in the bracket. 2x times 1. What is it? What is 2x times 1? 2x. The last sign is always positive. And then we square the last term, square 1. Done. You see how fast it is? We have factorized the difference of two cubes. That's what you do. Please remember that. And then after this does not mean that you have understood fully. You have to use what you have learned and keep on practicing it. Practice, practice, and practice. Then you'll be perfect. Right, let's go to our baseline activity now. Okay, let me move fast here. Let me clear this. It's clumsy. Okay, we're going to our baseline activity. Here it is. Okay, if you check, those were there last week. We did this one, but I brought it back because remember there was also a mistake. Okay, I want us to do it nicely now. Right, let's do. We're going to do it as our baseline activity. Let's simplify this in 3 minutes. I'm going to give you 3 minutes. Let's try in 3 minutes. Right, welcome back, Cretans. What did you do? We are multiplying, oh, we're dividing fractions. What did I say last week? When you're dividing fractions, you just what? Tip and times. So that's your first mark there. To do that, you tip and times. To say, change this division to multiplication, then saying 8 over x squared minus 4x plus 4 is a mark. You have your mark for doing that. Okay, now let's factorize. What do you see here? X squared minus 4, that is difference of two squares because 4 is a square number. So it means x squared minus 4, we have our two brackets, the other one with minus, the other one with plus. Then the square root of x squared is x, the square root of 4 is 2. And then with x, we have 2. You see that? Okay. And then here, it's a trinomial, x squared minus 4x plus 4. We know how to factorize trinomial. We look for the factors of positive 4. If it's positive 4, it means that the two factors must have the same sign. Not positive, no. It can be negative, negative. It can be positive, positive. Then this one confirms that, yes, same sign, but that sign must be negative. So which factors are those? It's negative 2, negative 2. Because if you say negative 2 times negative 2, we get positive 4. But what is negative 2 minus 2? Is negative 4. Do you see that we're getting this negative 4 here? You see? So it means the brackets here are going to be x minus 2, x minus 2. That's the trinomial. So we have factorized our x squared minus 4. We have also factorized our quadratic trinomial there. And then what do? We can cancel across multiplication. Do you know that? We can cancel across multiplication, but we cannot do that if it's addition. Let's say instead of multiplication here, there was addition. You cannot cancel across. Remember that, grade 10, okay? So here we can say x minus 2 divided by x minus 2. And then we get 1. Then 2 into 2, 1. 2 into 8, 4. At the top, what we have? We have x. We have 4 times x plus 2. And then at the bottom, we have x minus 2. So it simplifies to this. Okay, we have what? We have simplified our expression. We get our marks there. Okay, right. The next one I wanted you to try it. Okay, let me give you 1 minute. 1 minute to write your corrections. I keep on forgetting. 1 minute to do your corrections. Don't write everything, just correct where you made mistakes. 1 minute. Right, welcome back, grade 10s. The next one, I'm going to explain it, and then I'll give you 2 minutes for you to copy the notes, okay? Right, but if you can write your notes as I explained, that would be fine. Right, now we have 8x cubed minus 1 divided by 2x minus 1, then divided by x squared, 4x squared plus 2x plus 1 over 3. Looks complicated, isn't it? But I've realized something here. We're dividing a fraction, so we do tip and times. I'm getting that mark. Let's get that mark. We have our mark there. Right, the next thing to do is to factorize. Do we have anything we can factorize there? When you're talking about factorization, think about these methods of factorization. The highest common factor, factorization of a quadratic trinomial, and then difference of two squares, difference in sum of two cubes, factorization by grouping in pairs. Did I leave anything else? Okay, I think I've mentioned all of them. So now, if we check here, we have this. This is difference of two cubes, if you check. That's difference of two cubes. So we need to factorize that. So 8x cubed minus 1. So we're saying the cube root of 8x cubed is 2x. The cube root of 1 is 1. Okay, so our first bracket is going to be the cube root of 8x cubed and cube root of 1, but we're maintaining our operation, which is negative, which is minus here. It's 2x minus 1. That's our first bracket. Then the second bracket now, we are looking at these two terms, 2x and 1 there. Okay, we need to square 2x. We square 2x. What is 2x squared? What is 2x squared? It's 4x squared, isn't it? We write our 4x squared. Then what do we do? Change the sign, change the operation. It's minus here, so it becomes plus. The next step, we multiply the terms, 2x times 1. 2x times 1. If you follow those steps, you'll never go wrong with this. Just follow those steps. 2x times 1, we have 2x. Then the last operation is always plus, it's plus. And then we square the last term, we square the 1. 1 squared is 1. You see that? We have factorized. 2x minus 1, first bracket, and then 4x squared plus 2x plus 1. Interesting. We have something like that there. Okay, let's write that. Let's replace this with the factors. We have that. Okay, what can we do from here? We can divide across the multiplication. So we can say 4x squared plus 2x plus 1 divided by 4x squared plus 2x plus 1. See that? And then we can say 2x minus 1 divided by 2x minus 1. These things are giving us 1. What are we left with? With 3 over 1. Do you see that? We're left with 3 over 1. And then what is our answer? 3. Done. Okay? Let's save our 2 minutes and then do our corrections. And then after 2 minutes, we'll continue with our lesson. Right, welcome back, grade 10s. Please take note there, I had written square root instead of cube root. Please correct it, make sure that it's cube root, not square root, cube root, okay? Yeah. Now, let's move on. So this is how we're going to do our activities. Okay, let me just, we discussed this in our previous lesson, so it's fine. Okay, we're going to discuss it as we move on. Right, this is how we're going to do our lesson from here. I'll give you an example. And then after the example, I'll give you a question which is similar to the example. And then you try it, okay? Right, now, let's do this one. And then after this example, I'm going to what? I'm going to give you an activity. Remember numerical fractions, grade 10s. Remember, the way we deal with algebraic fractions is just the same as we deal with what? Numerical fractions. Let's say we have 1 over 4 plus 2 over 4. The denominators are the same. Do you see that? So if the denominators are the same, we can just add the numerators. This is just the same as 1 plus 2 over 4. Which is what? Which is 3 over 4. So it is the same concept that we are using. And then if you check this one here, the denominators are the same, just like we have 4 and 4 there. So we can just add the numerators. We can just say 3x plus 7x. That's why when we are adding or subtracting fractions, we have to make sure that the denominators are the same so that we can add the fractions. So we use the lowest common denominator, which is actually the lowest common multiple. Okay, so here what we do, we have our 3x plus 7x. We have our common denominator here, which is x minus 1. Do you see that? And then we can simplify the numerator because they are like terms. 3x plus 7x, what is it? It is 10x. So we have 10x over x minus 1. Done. We've answered the question. We have simplified. You think you can do the next question? You have to try, great tens. We have to try. Right, let me give you the next question. Do you need time for this? Let me give you 30 seconds. I'll wait for you here. 30 seconds, maybe there's someone wants to write short notes. 30 seconds, then we go to the question. Right, welcome back. Let's go to our question. I'm going to give you 2 minutes. Let's try this one. 2 minutes. Right, let's do this together. The denominators are the same. So we can subtract the numerators. So it's going to be, this is equal to 10 minus 2x over our common denominator, which is x minus 2. Oh, sorry, 10x. Right, 10x minus 2x over x minus 2. What is 10x minus 2x? These are like terms. 10x minus 2x is what? 8x. So 8x over x minus 2. Mark that work. Okay, mark that. Write your corrections. You can write your corrections fast, and then we move on to the next one. So we got 8x minus 8x over x minus 2. Good. Do you see that it's not difficult to deal with fractions? Right, let's move on to the next one. Let's move on to the next one. Today, acquired grade 10s. Please send us your input 063 629 3655. Right, now another one. Let me give you an example using a numerical fraction. Let's say we have 1 over 3 plus 3 over 4. Now, how do we deal with such fractions? We have to find the LCD. We have to find the LCD. What is the lowest common multiple for 3 and 4? That is 12, isn't it? So what we do, we multiply 1 over 3 by 4. If we multiply the numerator by 4, sorry, if we multiply the denominator by 4, we must multiply the numerator by 4. It becomes 1 over 3 times 4 over 4. You see that? Then plus, these are equivalent fractions. 1 over 3 and 4 over 12 is just the same thing. They are equivalent fractions. But we want to create fractions with the same denominator. And then here, 3 over 4, and then times 3, so that we have 12 as our denominator. We must also multiply the numerator by 3, so that we have equivalent fractions. 3 over 4 is just the same as 9 over 12. They are equivalent fractions. And then we have 4 over 12 plus 9 over 12. Now the denominators are the same, so we can add the fractions, which is actually an improper fraction, 13 over 12, which reduces to 1 and 1 over 12. Right. Now, we are going to do the same thing here. So we have x minus 3. Please take note, they are not the same. We have x minus 3 and x plus 3. They are not the same. So what we do, we have to create fractions with the same denominator, so we have to use the LCD. What is the LCD? The lowest common denominator for x minus 3 and x plus 3. LCD is what? X minus 3 times x plus 3. So what must we do to this fraction? We must multiply the denominator by x plus 3 and multiply the numerator by x plus 3. Okay, I think I was moving fast there. So we multiply this one, x minus 3 times x plus 3, so that our denominator is x minus 3 times x plus 3. Then we must also multiply the numerator by the same thing, x plus 3. And when we come here, we must multiply this x plus 3 by x minus 3. And then multiply the numerator by x minus 3. Let me show you so that when I'm talking about this thing, you can see it. So what we do is this. You see that? We have multiplied the denominator by x plus 3 here, and then by x plus 3 there. So that we have the denominator, x minus 3 times x plus 3. Then we come this side, we multiply by x minus 3 by x minus 3. See that? So now our denominators are the same. So what can we do? We can just add our numerators because our denominators are the same. So it becomes this. You see? Oh, I've removed the brackets first. Okay, it's fine. So let's add our numerators. It becomes 3x plus 9 plus 7x minus 21. You see, we're just adding this and this. Our denominators are the same. We just have our common denominator as our denominator. Just one denominator. Okay, and then we can simplify. We can simplify our numerator in this case. So 3x and 7x are like terms. We can add those. Then 9 and 21 and negative 21 are like terms. We can subtract or add those. So 3x plus 7x is 10x. Then 9x minus 21 is negative 12. So we have 10x minus 12. This is enough. But also, if we check 10x and negative 12, there is a common factor. We can factor it out and then have our 2 outside, then 5x minus 6 there in our bracket. Okay? So that's what you're supposed to do. I want you to write notes. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to write your notes. And then after 2 minutes, I'm going to give you a similar example. and then we'll do it. And then after you do it, we are going to mark. Now, 2 minutes to just make your notes. Right, welcome back. Now I want you to try the next one. Okay, I want you to try the next one. Where is it? Oh, yes. Oh, that's the one. I thought it's something different. Okay, let me give you how many minutes here? 4 minutes. 4 minutes will be now. Let's try this one for 4 minutes. Welcome back, grade 10. Sorry for that, there was technical fault, but let's continue with our lesson. Okay, right. So we are marking our work. So we're saying that we have 2 over x plus 2 plus 1 over x minus 2. Right. So what is the LCD here? The LCD is equal to x plus 2 times x minus 2. That is the lowest common denominator. So what we have to do, we have to multiply this fraction, the numerator and the denominator, by x minus 2, so that the denominator is x plus 2 times x minus 2. Then this one we have to multiply it by x plus 2, the numerator and the denominator, so that our denominator is x plus 2 times x minus 2. Okay, let's do that. So we have 2 over x plus 2 times x minus 2. Then we multiply the numerator with the same thing, x minus 2. Okay, that's the first fraction. Then plus 1 over x minus 2. Then we multiply by x plus 2. So we must multiply the numerator by the same thing, which is x plus 2. See that? Now our denominators are the same. We have a common denominator. We can add the numerators. So it's 2x minus 2 plus 1 x plus 2. That is the numerator. Then over our LCD, which is x plus 2, then x minus 2. You see that? Okay, now we have to simplify our numerator. Let's start by removing brackets. We're distributing this. We're distributing 2 there. And then here we're distributing 1, positive 1. Please be careful. If it's negative 1 here, it's going to change the signs of your terms in the bracket. But now it's positive 1, so it doesn't change anything. It becomes 2x. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. And then 1 times x is positive x. Positive 1 times positive 2, there is positive 2. Over our LCD, which is x plus 2, x minus 2. Okay? Now we can simplify our numerator, the like terms. 2x plus x, that is 3x, isn't it? Then negative 4 plus 2, that is negative 2. Over x plus 2, x minus 2. Okay? Right. That is our answer there. Right. Please, as I explained, try to write notes because we're left with 4 minutes. Okay, so that we can try to learn, okay, in these 4 minutes. So, okay, I'll try to move a bit faster, but with you understanding, that is very, very important. So that's what you're supposed to do there. I can move to the next question. The next question. Right, I wanted to give you the question, the example, and then I give you the work to do, okay? So we won't manage to do that now because of time. So let's do this. As I explain, write your notes, because once I finish explaining, also you should have finished what? Writing your notes, isn't it? Try to multitask in these 4 minutes. Right. Now, what we have here, we are adding the 2 fractions, but we have x minus 1, x squared minus 1 here, and x minus 1. These are 2 different things. But x squared minus 1, what type of an expression is that? That is difference of 2 squares. X squared minus 1 is difference of 2 squares. Okay? Because 1 is a square number. So it's going to be x minus 1, x plus 1. So we have difference of 2 squares. Now we know how to factorize difference of 2 squares, isn't it? So we have something like that. Okay? So what is the LCD? What is lowest common denominator here? We have x minus 1 times x plus 1 times x minus 1. What is the LCD? It's going to be x minus 1 times x plus 1, isn't it? Okay, right. The LCD, the lowest common denominator, is x minus 1 times x plus 1. So we have to multiply this fraction, the denominator and the numerator, by x plus 1, so that we have the same denominator. Okay, please, I said write notes as I explained. So now we may have to multiply this fraction I've circled here by what? By x plus 1, so that we have our denominator, which is x minus 1 times x plus 1. Okay? If you can be ahead of me, please try to do so. Right, let's do that. So that we've done that. See, we have multiplied by x plus 1, x plus 1. Now our denominators are the same. Our denominators are the same. So we have x minus 1 times x plus 1 as our denominator. So what can we do? We can add the fractions. Okay, we can add the fractions. Oh, sorry, we can add the numerators. We can add the numerators, sorry. So it becomes at the top 2x plus 3x, 3 times x plus 1 like this. And then we can simplify, isn't it? All right, let's remove the brackets. 3 times x is 3x. Then 3 times 1 is 3. See that? Then 2x and 3x are like terms. We can add them. 2x plus 3x is what? 5x. So we have 5x plus 3 as our numerator. We have simplified our expression. Okay? We have simplified our expression. Okay? Right. I want us to do this. Time is up, but I want you to write this one. This is your homework. This is your homework. And then the answer that you must get, let me check my answer. You must get this answer, 1 over 2x minus 1. You must get this answer. Ne? You're working towards that answer. You must get that answer. Right, just copy it for 1 minute. Copy it for 1 minute. Right, that is your homework, great. Please do it. Do it, and you're going to enjoy when you're seeing that you're getting it right. Okay, so that's what you're supposed to do then. I want us to summarize our lesson, then we'll be done. Okay, please remember to always practice mathematics every day. Just do something small every day. Don't let things accumulate. Don't let things accumulate. You may find that towards the exam, then you want to cross night. Cross night will never work. Cross night will never work. Starting your mathematics, start now. Okay, let's summarize our lesson. Right, what did we say? When simplifying algebraic fractions, factorize in order to simplify. You see that? We used our factorization, highest common factor, difference of 2 squares, difference in sum of 2 cubes, and also what? Difference of 2 squares, I said, yes, difference in sum of 2 cubes, but we didn't use the grouping by, factorized by grouping in pairs, okay? You may find that also in other things, in other activities. When adding or subtracting fractions, make denominators the same. When adding or subtracting fractions, make the denominators to be the same. And then when adding or subtracting fractions, factorize the denominators and determine the LCD. Okay, we managed to do that. Thank you very much, grade 10s. We are going to meet in our next lesson. Please don't miss the next lesson. Goodbye.